Everyone should be seen and heard. Welcome my guest tonight. One of my friends, my TikTok friend, Eartha.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank
You're,
you.
you're so welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. I love your content. I had to tell you, I'm so glad I love your content.
And I love yours. Two peas in a pod. We
That's
there.
right. That's right. And look, we got to look out for each other, especially now.
Oh,
Because the tax on us, like these women now wondering why we're not overexerting ourselves. We've already done that, and they're
at
trying
this
to act
point,
brand new.
at this point, it would be useless anyway.
Mhm.
It's futile because when they should have been listening, they were voting white instead of right.
Yeah,
So this is where
yeah,
we are.
that's it. And
This is
and
where
it's
we are.
and although I mean, because we've been suffering all along, so yes, we see the urgency,
Yeah.
but there's really nothing we could do because if regardless of how the anything ends up, we're going to suffer.
Yeah. And that's
Uh,
what I was saying. That's
Go
what I
ahead
was
and
saying.
talk. Go ahead and talk. I'm gonna put myself on mute real quick. You finish talking.
Okay. Um, That's what I was saying earlier because I stitched a video or I duetted a video where it was a young lady basically saying they screwed us because of them not doing what they were supposed to do. Now black women are going to get punished even more for something we have no control over. Because of course they're not going to put those white women in jail, not for life, maybe a year or two. But if they're within them childbearing years, they're not putting them in jail. However, they don't care whether we have babies or not. So they'll put us in jail for life for the same crimes being committed. It's like the 1994 crime bill all over again.
And what's heartbreaking about that is when they put us in the jails, the brutality that they're going to have to go through on top of. I mean, it's going to be an extra layer of resentment, an
It'll be
extra layer.
slavery all over again.
And technically, slavery never stopped,
It never
but
ended.
right.
But it would be basically overt slavery. At least now I don't want to say subtle, but I mean at least it's so subtle that people don't believe that that's what it is.
It's not subtle actually when you think about it because you hear what these GOP congressmen are saying out loud. It's not subtle anymore. It's like right in our face. They're basically saying this is how I feel about this Roe v. Wade thing. So Clarence Thomas made a statement the other day about how everybody's just going to have to deal. You're just going to have to deal with it. That
Right.
sounds like a sexual assaulter
Yeah.
that is having his way with the woman. He's
Yeah.
basically done that to every woman in the country. He has basically R all of the women in this country. That
Don't fight me. Don't go against me.
not only
How dare you go against me? I'm
not
going to show you. That's narcissism right there.
not only the females, they doing it to the males too. They turning black males into sex gender people because of what they treating them too. Like male, females, and males got testosterone and stuff. Either you going to prison or either you gonna stay out here and be, you know what I'm saying, in that culture of that mix. You can't be strong as a man or a woman nowadays as being black. You only can be mixed in what they decide what you want to be, and it depends on your group or people that you hang around. And you're not really nothing until you hang around Caucasian Americans. African Americans lead to trouble. When they see African American with African, it's trouble. More than two, it's trouble. They pulling you over. They come to get you. But if you put yourself around Caucasian, so that means you got to bite the bullet. That means you got to be something that you're not. So that means borderline you're a transgender. Like
But the thing is, people are black people, especially a lot of them are like you and me, Eartha. We are not bowing down.
Yeah,
No.
to their
but
standard.
those are the ones like y'all like me too. I don't mean to cut in, but it's like that because of if you don't bow down, you get no reward. It's the world that we live in.
But we
Like,
don't want
Yeah.
that
I
reward.
know we can't, but we didn't want it back then in slavery days. But we the
True.
most. They say black people is the most violent people. We don't want to obey rules more than anything. We let somebody put us in a hut and say, "Stay here." They make us go in there and feed their kids our breast milk. It's women that had one baby that never titties that never stopped leaking because the white woman kept having babies and she had to breastfeed the white woman baby just because she want to be strong like the Negroes.
And that's what he made a key point there about the propaganda that has worked on us about us globally.
It's just
It started with that movie, A Birth of a Nation. It started with
Yep.
The Birth of a Nation, and trying to depict us as the violent ones. Now everybody is seeing who the real
we are
violent ones
never
are.
violent. We haven't never
Right,
been violent.
exactly.
We got obeyed. Some people, like 2 or 3 people, made 50 or 100 people bow down.
Mhm.
We ain't never been violent.
They are proving themselves to show everybody
I
who's
mean,
real
when you
violent.
think about it, we have never traveled across an ocean to destroy people.
It ain't even
That's
that
what
point.
they've always done.
It's not even
That's
that
what they've
point.
always done.
It's that 3.
They don't know
Oh,
any other way. I think
no,
being up in them cold, wherever they was at in them cold mountains, it bred the humanity out of them.
It's in their DNA. It's in
Yeah,
their
you
DNA.
gotta think. You
I
gotta know like this.
believe it.
They're the only people in the world can only make what they are. Okay, let me break that down to you. African Americans can make white babies. Mexicans can make white babies. Anybody with melanin in their skin can also produce a white child, but a white person can only produce white. They're jealous. It's in them, period. It's in their genes. They cannot stop it. They don't know it. Like we are, we can make any color human.
It's a
But
recessive
they only
trait.
can
They
make
are recessive. That's why they're dying out because eventually nature rights itself.
Mhm.
because they say
You
live
know?
fast and they say live fast and die slow, or something like that. But you got to think about it. Caucasians
Right.
live so good. That's why at the age of 30 they do like they 70 because they look so because they live so good. Like they can get anything they want. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real.
Yeah. But I mean, but think about it. As a race, they've done that. They sped up whatever was going to happen because they lack.
They didn't do
They
it.
lack.
No, they didn't do it. Look,
They're recessive, and
it was
nature is righting itself, and
it
they're
was
fighting
it was
against that.
it was built that way from Christopher Columbus, whoever he is. I ain't never met him, so I don't believe him. You know, the Pilgrims, and okay, I know the Indians because I'm from Louisiana, partially French, Indian. Okay, it's kind of crazy how a small group of people that they are can control all of this.
Everybody
Like they're the
globally.
like they're the smallest.
They're the smallest
They're the
group globally.
smallest. They're the
There's a
smallest.
book. There's a book called Guns, Germs, and Steel:
Mhm.
The Rise of the White Man.
Yep. But that's an old book, so it's prehistoric. That's for the Old
But the
Testament.
knowledge in the
Because
book is
The
still
knowledge is
the
still
knowledge
the
is not correct.
same.
the
The
knowledge
knowledge
is
is
still
still the
But
same.
like I
I
said,
mean,
but
you
listen
can't
though,
change history, so it's
who actually
still,
made
it's
those?
still
Who
relevant.
actually made those weapons? Who actually made those
the
weapons?
actually the Chinese
The
made the
Chinese.
gun.
They
Okay.
made gunpowder.
And then the
Okay.
white people came in and said, "Oh, okay, let's go over there and
Okay.
How can we turn this to control?
No.
exactly."
No. Who made this steel? Met this steel down and turned down to that. They had that nigga in the garage in the barn with
Like
knives.
blacksmith.
We made all this stuff, man. We designed, we mold, we made wheels and all that, man. We designed them weapons they got
But the point we're trying to make
to
is,
control us.
it's like when that census came out and it told that their numbers were dwindling. Now I started thinking about those numbers. So they're saying we are 13% of the population, right? They've been saying that for the past, 20, 30 years, that we were 13% of the population. So 20, 30 years, we've stayed at 13% of the population.
No,
No,
let me tell you what
not
happened.
according to, wait.
Black folks don't fill out census
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
forms.
tell you
no.
what happened.
But I honestly believe, especially globally,
Let me tell you what happened.
collectively globally, we outnumber brown people outnumber them.
Let me tell you
They
what happened.
are terrified,
I'm
and
tell you what happened.
those rich people that have gotten together when they go to like what is that place in Switzerland or whatever every year, they've got the data. They've got the technology, so they know with collectively with wait, hold on. They know the data. They've seen the numbers. We outnumber them globally.
Can I say this?
So they are freaking out.
Please, on my tongue. This the thing that everybody keeps saying the Caucasians, really, they don't own the United States. Like, they sell it off. Like Nashville right now, wherever you at, the foreigners, people come from different parts of the world and they come and buy property and build these houses. These houses are not built from Caucasian Americans. These houses are built from people who live across seas in London and Paris. So at the end of the day, they don't even own it. It's rented. They live off credit. They don't care about actual money. I'm telling you what's going on.
Well, money was made up.
That's why.
Concept was made up.
That's why so many people is getting evicted. So many people getting kicked out. It's not the white people that got owned it. They think owning it. It's owned by somebody in another part of the world.
So, did you see interesting that you can't live together unless you're related? So people who got roommates, they can't. They can't. It's illegal for them to live together now.
Yep.
That what he just said. All of that's making sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
They are making it where you have to be married because, like I said, that all ties into the census and those dwindling numbers.
No, it's come from us. My owning method.
Well,
just enjoying life, buying the finest things. We gotta fight ourselves too. We want the finest things, but the finest things is fine, and then the time change, and then something else become fine, and then we retro. We come back again like retro Jordans. But the thing about it is that 5 different races. See, no reason why she just said that is because that's how they winning. See, when they have all of them in their house like that, they save so much money. See,
they don't want that.
That's how they trying to stop that.
Yeah,
they're trying to stop from them to come over here taking over everything. So how they take over everything? They let them come over here. They got a right. We got to go by law. And then also what they do is they all get in the house together. So they just start. Once you see one stove, now they had 3 stoves. You know what I'm saying? They catch it on late.
Look at the Mexicans that work. They work hard, and they all stay in one house together. So that's illegal now.
And I'm in Chicago, and I'm like right by Little Village. And trust me, they buy a house, they rehab it together, they live in it together. They save money, go buy another one, have some more of their relatives come over. They do the same thing, and then before you know it, they got the whole block.
Yep. So that's why they're passing these laws but like I said, the numbers are not adding up because 13% of the population, they say we're 13% of the population. Then they're saying that what's the percentage of black inmates? So this is what 50% of the inmates are black. So the numbers, the math is not mathing.
Right. Because my thing is who's making these babies with these single mothers if half of the men are in jail?
Right. The math is not math.
That's not making any sense. So yeah.
And I don't know for sure, but
because
what I'm watching,
traditionally and historically, Black people do not trust the government. Right. So probably it's closer to maybe 26%.
Yeah.
Who knows? Because half of us don't trust me, because I filled out the census because it's just, as far as politically, I understand what those numbers can do and how they set it up.
Right.
But my neighbor next door, oh my goodness, she said, nope. Them people was getting like, I ain't in the best neighborhood. Right. So yeah, them people,
and of course,
they weren't pursuing it that heavy. Trust me.
Yeah, and I was telling him like a few months ago, he's actually just was a family friend of mine that just came in, but I was telling him last month, I said not everybody fills out the census, and especially we don't fill out the census
like we do the doctors. We not going and we not filling that out,
and we have every right.
So we don't vote either. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And traditionally we don't vote, so they really can't say how many of us it is.
I know this, we outnumber. So because of how
Yeah.
fast they're trying to fast track all these fascist laws and Roe versus Wade, how quick they push that through, they are freaked because we outnumber them. There's a reason they did all of this so fast. We
But you
outnumber
know
them.
what? I've been saying this on Facebook for at least the past 5 to 6 years. I have been saying this same thing. I
Mhm.
wish I'm going to go back. I hope my memories come up and I can show this. Because when it's something I said 5 or 6 years ago and it's happening now, I make
Yep.
sure I share it,
Right.
to keep it so I can see it. But I mean, a lot of this stuff, and people was like, "Oh no, it's not gonna do this. It's not gonna do
You're
that." I'm like, y'all don't
overreacting.
understand what they trying to do. Cause even after Trump, they was like, "Oh, it's not." I say y'all don't understand because we were making jokes like, you know, I want the east side of the plantation. Y'all stay over there. Stuff like that. And people was like, "Oh, y'all just over exaggerating. It's not gonna be so bad." But look,
Yep.
you want the back nine?
I didn't like him. He was a he. I mean, he annoys me. He's a family friend, but I mean, he was being so annoying to me because I was trying to tell him in 2016, like when I was paying, because
Yeah,
I especially try to warn people that don't pay attention to the news. I don't talk about it all the time to people like that because they don't really want to hear it all the time. But when something is
yeah.
alarming me, I make sure that I try to share what it is that's alarming me because it's just
You
in
know what?
my gut.
I'm sorry. When I get off of here, I don't even really go on Facebook too much. I don't post a lot anyway. I'm going to put up an "I told you so" post because I told y'all. Y'all told me I was crazy. Y'all called me Sister Soldier. So
They
now
never
look,
listen to black women,
look what?
especially. They never listen to black women, especially because I try not to be that type person say I told you so, but I'll make tweets on my Twitter account because I know people do. If they don't interact with my tweets, I know they read them. They still read them.
Right,
And
right.
I'll occasionally throw in I'm a channeling my inner passive aggressiveness. That's coming from my European heritage. You know how they like to be passive aggressive? Okay, I'm channeling my passive aggressive.
Look, I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, so my motto is "I told you so."
I'm
I told you
Scorpio. So yeah, I'm passive aggressive as heck because I'm like, dang, I remember saying this in 2016. Oh, by the
I've
way,
been
I
saying
remember.
it.
I'm old enough to remember when I said this in 2016, and I'll even put in
Now,
the month and the day that I said it.
I may not have used the verbiage that I would use now,
Hmm.
but I pretty much said the same things that's happening. And I'm like, and I'm an empath too. I actually do reading, so I got what you were saying. Because I have been, I have been telling people for like the past year. Do y'all feel like something? It's like you waiting for something to happen. Do
Hmm.
y'all feel that? I feel like there's a. It's. Do y'all feel that there's a shift? I've been saying that and saying that. People be like, "Oh, you high?" Because when I was high, but I was telling the truth. I was
Right.
telling the truth.
And I
And
wasn't even
look,
saying it as a waiting. I was just like, look,
something,
this is
some
headed
shit
down.
is about to
This
go
is
down.
going down a road that y'all are not going to be prepared for. That's the way I was telling them. I was like, look, all this stuff that's going on, and I would repeat what was going on like at that time, that period of time that built up to this point. I'm like, something's not right, and it's not going to get any better. And I kept ended it with that. It's not going to get any better.
Yes, yes. I kept telling people, y'all better get prepared. Y'all worried about love and hip hop. It's a distraction from the things that's really going on.
And
Pay
Yeezys
attention.
and car
You know,
trashins and Kanye and all that. Yeah, that makes me mad too. With the distractions, it's like, and I could see that coming like the BET Awards the other night. I don't watch that. I don't watch that stuff anyway.
I don't
But
watch no
I
award
saw it
shows.
coming through the stream on Twitter, and I was like, there they go again, being used as a tool of the system to help distract our people with some lunacy that has nothing to do with us, because first off, we're down here in the trenches. We can't afford gas. We can't afford groceries. We can't find people can't find baby food. We're worried about getting kicked out, and trying to trend a red carpet for an award show in the middle of all that.
Well,
Plus
my
the fact
thing is, in
this
the midst
happened
of
at
everything, they serve a purpose,
yeah,
because we all need a break. We all need our little entertainment, but the the amount of control that these people, or the amount of influence that these people have
right.
on an everyday person, is too
Hmm.
much.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about Beyonce. I don't want to hear about any award shows. I don't want to see nothing about a red carpet when
Hmm.
they have they have initially trapped all of us in this country with that border that they put around the United States. They have alleviated Miranda rights. They passed Roe versus Wade, and now all these bottom feeding mouth breeders are running around telling women, "Oh, I can't wait to have my way with you." And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do about it. Yeah, I've been seeing videos about these men bragging about being able to attack women now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that video.
Yeah, I don't want to see anything about BET, Kanye, no Beyonce. I don't care. I don't want to see it.
I'm trying to find the pattern in between the way they did this. It means something. I just don't know what.
I'm kind of passionate because I'm angry. I'm angry because I
Hmm.
feel trapped. I don't like that feeling of feeling trapped. This is
Yeah,
an urgency, especially more so for people that look like you and me. And then to
absolutely.
see these women, these palm colored women now taking down the American flag, saying, you know what I'm saying? They're taking down the flag. It's like, wait a minute. I'm old enough to remember y'all threatened to stop watching the NFL because somebody just took a knee. But now all of a sudden,
Exactly.
y'all are taking all
Exactly.
these flags down. Okay, I'm old enough to remember that during the beginning of Doofus and Chief's reign of terror, there were women in cages at the border being forcefully sterilized.
Yeah.
Okay, now
And
you're
as
taking
far
your
as we
American
know,
flag
I
down.
mean, did it ever stop?
No. And then on top of that, there were little girls. One in particular, I remember 11 years old, that was pregnant in one of those cages at the border under under Doofus and Chief's reign of terror, and they
Yep.
forced her to carry that child, to carry a baby to term. But now y'all are taking your American flags down. Okay,
Because it affects them directly.
right.
It's easy to do, to pass judgment or to do some things that can affect someone else, but it doesn't affect you in a way that you can conceive.
I'm old enough to remember videos that trauma porn that everybody was posting all over social media of black and brown people being shot down in the streets over and over and
Murder
over
porn,
again.
yeah.
And now you want to take down your American flag. I'm old enough to remember all these corporations and media executives refusing to allow black women to wear their natural hair. Nobody
You
came to their
know,
defense, and now you want to take your American flag down.
and the crazy thing is I heard something, and when I tell you, it hit me. When you're used to 198 feels like oppression.
Mm. Yep.
So now you get it. And you haven't even had a fraction of what we went through.
Nope. And still
Not a
going through.
fraction. And still
Still.
going through. We're
Hmm.
still getting our kids snatched away from us,
Hmm.
either by the system or by well, the police are the system. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or by somebody who's caught up in the system, which is our own.
And I'm old enough to remember Native American women all over TikTok asking, begging for help for missing and murdered indigenous women. But now you want to take your American flag down.
Because it affects them directly. I mean, What they fail to realize is they were protected. Even when they didn't feel protected, we protected them.
Mm-hmm.
We took the brunt of your man's anger, his rage, his brutality. We took that. And you still felt oppressed. Y'all been on our backs since we've been here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So now we saying get off our backs. It's too heavy. What's gonna happen is
Carry
gonna
us.
happen.
Carry us. Because that's what they're going to do. I saw one of my TikTok friends is older guy, and he made a video telling or trying to suggest make a suggestion to the palm colors, the envelopians. I'll say envelopians
Yeah,
because
that's what I say.
he was making a suggestion, and he was saying when you saw black women on the front lines of the protests getting brutalized, beat, shot, arrested. With the history that you know of the civil rights movement, all of those people. This is basically what the video was. He was explaining, like John Lewis, Martin Luther King, all those people got arrested on purpose to muck up the justice system. That's why they were getting arrested so they could fill up and clog up the jails and the justice system. He was making a suggestion for the envelopians. It's your turn. Get on the front lines because
Yeah,
especially because you are of that complexion.
but they ain't about that life.
That's what I'm saying.
They
They
sitting
they
out
they're
there.
not going to
I
do
was
that.
laughing. I mean, I laughed because it was pathetic to me, not because it was funny. It was ha ha. That's sad.
Right, right.
They on there talking about some. Don't put on your June costumes. You come out like this, and it was like a warrior, Viking warrior princess, and I was like,
Yeah, I saw that
y'all
too.
sitting up here trying to coordinate y'all costumes, and they finna basically, you know, screw you over.
And we're
And
trying
you
to
worried about
also,
what you got on?
and they're
What you need to
still
do is put on a hoodie.
put on
Make
some
sure you
knee
got a
pads,
mask over
a
your
helmet.
face
Yeah.
and a helmet. Make sure you got on steel toe boots.
Yep.
So when and make sure that you protecting parts of your body because when they come with them billy clubs and that bear spray, you're gonna need some protection. Because
Yep.
at that point you're an enemy of you're their enemy. But
I
they
was
might not
like,
do anything, because that's their standard of beauty. They don't want to crush and hurt a white woman. It was
that's
just
the
us.
point. That's the point. But and then I saw this morning a video of the actual characters in that the Handmaid's Tale show. Now I did watch like the beginning parts of the Handmaid's Tale, but I hadn't watched anything other than that. But I watched, like the very first start of it
I
when
read the book.
I watched it, and I was just like, okay, this looks like what was like before anybody started talking about it. Was saying to myself, and I kept telling people. I was posting little things on my Facebook about about the beginning of the Handmaid's Tale, kind of like what they're doing now. They've got us trapped in this country with that border. They
Yeah.
stripped the Miranda rights. We won't be able to protest. They stripped those rights. The Roe v. Wade. Now,
No privacy.
no
No
privacy.
privacy.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, it
Do y'all get it yet? Do y'all get it yet? But
I,
Margaret Atwood, Margaret Atwood said none of that in her book is fiction. She got that from how other women were treated talking about black women.
the
They don't
parable of the
allow.
sower.
Oh man, you know what?
Octavia
I
Butler.
read that. I read it before. I tried to read it again,
I've got to
but
get it
because
again. I want to read it
I
again.
can't, I had to stop reading it because it's like, first of all, it's the year 2024 when all of this is going down.
Hmm.
And then it's like, okay, so it's eerily, uncanny,
Mhm.
the similarities between what's going on in that book and what's going on now. That was too much for my mind.
Right, right,
I had to
right,
put
right,
it down. I had to put it
right.
down like,
Okay,
whew,
well that's because I can't psychologically take much more than what the reality, our
the
actual
reality
reality.
is stranger than fiction right now.
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
it's like, wow. And that's what
Because
it is. It's
we'll
stranger
go
than
to sleep,
fiction.
we'll go to sleep tonight, and we'll wake up to more shenanigans. We'll
Like
wake
I
up to
said, I'm
something
trying to
else.
see what the pattern is and what they are doing. There's a method to their madness too.
It's
First, the
psychological
first thing they
warfare.
did is psychological warfare, because now we're
Panic.
stressed because we
Hmm.
don't know what right they're about to take from us.
Right.
So that's a stress, but I'm saying, and the way that they're striking these things down, there is a what it is I think what they're doing is trying to lock the door behind them,
Hmm. Yeah.
that sort of thing. Because the way that they're doing these things, I do believe that there's a way they're doing this, so it's going to be almost impossible to unlock each one. That's what I mean. Lock the door behind you. You can't get back through it. That's why I think they're doing it in this manner and in this order. I got somebody mixing bread in front of me, and I'm trying not to
Oh no,
laugh.
that's okay. That's okay. I'm just trying to think. Like, so I'm thinking. I know that we have. Everybody says vote. That's just a given. But I'm trying to think.
I
Say.
think they're trying to do all of this stuff before, so we can't vote.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
they keep saying that I've heard before that 2020 election was the
Hmm.
last election for this country. Now I don't know how true that is, but I heard that. And look at the way things are going. January 6th, all this is propaganda. I'm sorry. Oh, my boyfriend was saying that January 6th is propaganda. I think it goes deeper than that. I think they really had intention to do what they were trying to do.
Yeah, they did. Because I mean, we were watching it in real time. When I first saw it, I was just like, "What is going on?" I thought it was like first. I thought it was like a commercial or ad or something like that. And I just sat there and I kept watching and watching. I was like, these people really busted to uh the Capitol. And then I was like seeing people smoking all through the Capitol. They were glass was shattering and
I was
American
laughing. I'm
the
sorry. I
American
was
flag.
laughing.
I
I
was
was
like,
laughing so hard because at that point I used to argue with people on Fox News.
right.
I used to just go out there and just curse, just curse the racists out. Look, 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 look. And when I saw that, I fell out laughing. And I got right on there. Look at this white on white crime. Look at these savages. Oh my God, it's a horror. The barbarians.
You're
That's
right.
my petty.
That's what it was. It was white on white crime.
Like, oh my God, these barbarians, is anybody going to do something? Call the National Guard. So, yeah, that tickled me. I laughed. That was hilarious.
I was just in shock. I was like, really? This is what they're doing. This is what I said, basically, this is what they're doing.
That's because that's what they do. I mean, think about it. Have you ever seen when that team wins? Have you ever
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this was you know, just a little bit above that. Just a
I
little
saw,
bit. They were
I
a little
saw,
extra with the poop.
I saw this dude's TikTok earlier, and he was basically like, I think it was a palm guy, and he was like, basically, um, I saw somebody saying how this is. I think he stitched another lady's video, and he was like, so it's funny how y'all want to say it was poor white people. He was like, poor white people. Those people at that attacked the Capitol. Those weren't poor white people. That poor white people are not able to charter a plane. like round trip tickets for a plane. And he's like, did you see that body armor that they had? He's like, the poor white people can't afford that kind of
No.
stuff. And
Yeah.
the organization that they got together so quickly and stuff. Poor white people are distracted. They're not organized enough to do that. And then even if it looks like a semblance of them being organized, somebody with money is behind them. But yeah,
Absolutely.
all those people attacking the Capitol had money because remember that one white lady with the blonde hair? She was a real estate agent,
She was a
and
real estate agent.
she she flew
They've
in
gotten
it.
a lot of police officers and law enforcement from and lawyers and stuff from Chicago.
Yeah,
They've been arrested for being at January 6th.
and military and ex-military.
Military,
Yep,
politicians.
yep.
I don't know how many actors, but I hate that My Pillow guy. I do. I hate that My Pillow guy.
You know
That
he's
coke,
an
that man,
ex-crackhead.
he is a cocaine addict. Yeah, they caught
Yeah,
somebody
no,
said he saw
he
him in
was
the
a
bathroom doing
crackhead.
lines.
He was
Oh
a
wow,
crackhead.
really?
Yeah,
I'm trying to get something
he
to
was
let
a
you know.
crackhead.
Wow.
He was a crackhead.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
And he's still on something. He's still on something.
You know what? And I think maybe he had a lot to do with that funding and planning too. So I
Yep.
hope they give him.
Well,
Oh,
he's
well,
gonna be broke here soon because Walmart they canceled his contract. They'll sell
they
his
should have
product.
done that a long time ago. They
But
should have
look,
done that a
they weren't
long
gonna do
time
that
ago.
because you know those executives at Walmart fund Republicans. They buy the Republican politicians so they can keep their tax cuts.
Well, that too. That too. And I think that should be um I mean, that should be really looked at, that if you're a politician, you cannot be funded by any political organizations
Right. Well, and
or
you know what?
any.
But that goes for both parties. Because both parties
Oh,
are doing that.
absolutely.
Yeah, both
Absolutely.
parties doing that
Lord,
because
I forgot I had another show to do, but I told him I'd be late. Oh my goodness.
because you and I should be able to run for office if we wanted to, but
Well,
we can't. Like that's the way their founding fathers, you know, made that was part of their rules where any person would be able to. They did not factor in. Of course, they're dead and gone, but
education,
they didn't.
who's backing you, the lobbyists
Right.
and stuff
They
like that.
didn't factor
None
in
of that.
lobbying money. Lobbying money. They
So
did
you
not
know what?
factor in that.
Since they're striking down these amendments and all of this stuff, they need to get rid of those lobbyist bills and things like that.
But they won't
When
do
you
that.
don't have all this money backing you, are you still going to be for? Will you possibly be for the people then?
They won't do that.
No, they won't.
They won't do
Because
that.
the politicians, I mean, the real politicians, which are the people who financially back the politicians, have realized that they can control all of this by backing a talking head.
Term limits and age limits because
Definitely,
all those
definitely
people
both
too
of
old.
those.
They too
They're
old.
all too old. They're trying to keep things the way it was. And well, some of them not even boomers. Some of them are
The
from the
30s,
silent generation. The
yeah,
silent like, oh,
30s, 40s, yeah, and they
yeah.
up here making rules and laws, you know, for the diverse population, and they were alive during the 1930s.
And they also should expand the Supreme Court.
I don't understand why
It's been nine because of what was it? Because of this, it was like the certain.
filibuster.
No, it wasn't a filibuster, but it was something that it's antiquated at this point. But it was nine judges, I think, because it was nine courts or nine circuit courts or something. But now it's 13 circuit courts,
Mm,
so it should be 13 justices.
right.
So
Yeah. I don't
yeah,
understand the hesitation on that. I don't understand it. Now I get that Manchin and Sinema are not Democrats.
No,
They,
they're since they want to call people rhinos,
they are
they're
not.
dinos.
Yeah,
They're
they're
dinos.
not Democrats. They are not mansionists, and that was really because I try to, you know, I'm not like Mensa, knowledgeable or educated, but I mean I had pretty good sense of stuff and watching and observing. So when Cinema was running for office, she really had people fooled because I was about food right until she got in office. Then that's when she flipped the switch. But up until that point, they didn't show her that much either, like when she was
No.
campaigning. So that was another thing. So, but what
Mhm.
little bit I did see of her campaign, and I thought, okay, maybe she would be a good addition. And
She got bought.
she really took this country for fools because
And you know who else is flipping like that? Stacey Abrams.
I've been
I was so surprised and shocked when I saw what she posted and but I understand why she did it too. It's a political move because see, she has to say that she's not going to win that race without some backing from
pandering,
the fraternal orders of
pandering. Yeah.
police unions. I mean,
Mhm.
she got. I mean, honestly, you got to play the game. If
Right.
this is if this is the game that you want to play, you got to know how to make the moves. And I guess that's what she's doing. She's
But
not going to win it otherwise. Without those police unions, she's not going to win. She's not.
I have been very quiet about, like, you've seen like my posts, and I was working with the Japanese Americans coalition for reparations for us, which we were trying to we were doing our calls and call to action and everything, and having our webinars for getting the reparations bill on Joe Biden's desk by Juneteenth. That's what the plan was. I notice every time there is a swell of attention to reparations, something happens. There's a distraction that's thrown out there, and something happens. At that time, while we were doing our networking, that slap was going on, keeping everybody distracted. That Oscar slap, and we kept trying to push and push and push, like the message of trying to get
While
support.
you're doing this, pay attention.
It,
Oh my goodness. I posted that. I said, I wonder what they're distracting us from with this will stuff. I
so
posted that. Like,
we were trying to
and look,
get support for
you
that
want to buy it
reparation
now?
bill.
I am so sorry. The
Oh no,
chef,
no, you're fine, you're
the
fine.
chef wants me to try the meatloaf.
Oh, okay, that's good. I made a bacon lettuce tomato sandwich earlier. I think
Oh, that sounds
I'm
good.
gonna have some
Oh, this is
noodles.
good.
I'm gonna have some noodles and kimchi for dinner.
Look, chef's kiss. Mwah.
That's
I'm
so
sorry.
sweet. He's cooking for you. That's how it's supposed to be.
See how he sweet you are. You're cooking for me.
That's sweet. But
He
yeah,
mumbled and he
there
mumbled
was
and walked off.
there was support for, we were trying to get support for that reparations, and then that distraction happened. But I mean, we kept trying, and I still, and like I was tweeting directly to, like, especially on Juneteenth, I was just so pissed off. But on Juneteenth, I tweeted,
Mhm.
like, when Biden and Harris and all those Democratic politicians posted their little Juneteenth tweets, I posted the link to the reparations package that we were trying to do. I posted that under all their tweets directly to Joe Biden. Directly, I even posted one up under Michelle Obama's tweet about the reparations. I posted reparations link under all of their tweets because I mean, we're long overdue. He's basically sent a lot of our reparation money over there to Ukraine.
Well, yeah. So now they can say we're broke.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I ain't
That's
got it. Look, I ain't got
yeah,
it.
and they
I can put
always do
something.
that.
I can put something on it, but I
Yeah,
ain't got it.
they always do that. But and the thing about it is, like I was saying, the Japanese Americans are trying. They see that it's our turn to get reparations because they got theirs, from World War II.
Yeah,
So everybody's gotten theirs. I don't know how they were, passed out in there, but their communities, they still got their reparations. Okay.
they see and they understand that they are where they are because they were able
Right.
to have that generational wealth.
So at least the Japanese Americans were trying to, help us get what's rightfully ours. And then all these distractions came up, and then when that slap distraction came up, then I was watching, like you're saying, you got to watch when these distractions come up. That's when he first started sending money over there to Ukraine because, like I was saying, there is a swell of support for the reparations that was getting a lot of buzz and a lot of support.
Yeah,
And then that slap happened, and then
but think about it. They would rather go to war than to give us reparations.
right.
I mean, dang. They would rather go to war and blow this whole country up. You gonna go pick a fight with Russia, so to speak, just to not give us our money?
And I don't understand that because it's obvious you hate us. Now, I get it that a lot of black people would remain here. That's fine because I understand that a lot of black people would stay in this country if they were to get their reparations. I, for one, am not one of those people. So you hate us, give us our reparations, and give the people that do want to leave this country a chance to escape this country since you hate us so much. Plain and simple.
But
Problem
you know
solved.
what? That would make some of us too happy, and they hate that. They would rather force us in camps and work these jobs. They want us to be their machine. That would give us too much independence and too much freedom. They are putting it in and locking it down so that part of it so they can always have a working class.
Yeah, and that too, because I don't want to be that here
No,
because they're not working for me and my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness here. Okay, where I want to go, they don't have a Second Amendment. They don't have gun nuts running around, running amok, terrorizing the general population. Okay,
yeah,
now I'm not naive. Racism and colorism is global, but where
yeah,
I want to go, the level of racism and colorism there is not going to get me killed. So I would much rather live in a place where people are staring me down. I can stare back. That's not going to kill me.
exactly.
I can stare back and then ask them if they would like a cup of tea so they
But
can
I
get to
mean,
know me.
at this point it's all about capitalism.
Yeah. Every single
And
body.
capitalism cannot survive without a lower class.
Yeah, exactly.
What better way to ensure that capitalism thrives is by taking away everything from somebody so they have no choice but to work for you. I mean, we've been there, but they want it in stone, you know? They want it in stone.
Welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, CashApp SPeteH. That on that note, you were saying to work for them. I'm working for myself.
Right.
Okay,
And guess
donations
what? You
help.
have you have freedom because you work for yourself. They don't want that because you know what? And I think they also started doing this stuff because also during the pandemic, people started realizing, hey,
Yep,
I don't have to be in this 9 to 5 grind, this hustle.
yep,
I don't have to be in this hustle. I can make money for me. And the businesses started booming and thriving. And there's
yeah.
still, some of them are still thriving. They said, we can't have that. That's too many people thinking for themselves. If they think for themselves, then we can't control them and we can't get what we want out
Mhm.
of them. Let's lock this down. take this from them, take that from them, till they have no choice but to be under our foot, under our shoe, under our boot.
Basically, ushering us back into serfdom.
Yeah, for capitalism to live on.
Mm-hmm. And I don't, like I said, I am a very militant. I'm very militant, unapologetically militant about not shopping with these people. I will go out of my way. Like if I have the money to order something online, I refuse to use Amazon. I don't care if I order something today and it takes 3 months for it to get to my house. Only if I'm not using Amazon. I refuse to use Amazon. I don't care. I'm not giving them a cent. That's just me personally. I'm not giving Jeff Bezos any money. First off, billionaires shouldn't exist. Billionaires and trillionaires should not exist. But the fact that he and Elon Musk, Mr. Apartheid Elon Musk, that built his wealth off the slaves over there in South Africa, and them forcing them to dig for gems for his family. I'm not giving I'm not giving them any money. I'm not giving them my eyeballs. I'm not giving them my ratings. I'm not watching their TV shows. I'm not listening to their music. I'm not buying their products. I refuse. I shop at the Asian market. I specifically shop at the Asian market. That's the only place I feel safe. They all wear masks. And unlike Walmart and Kroger's, where a gun nut can walk around with a gun, gun nuts don't go in the Asian market. Plus, people
That's a
wear
good point.
masks.
That's a good point.
That's the only place I feel safe. I get my I get my meats, and although their prices have gone up, it's not their fault that they had to go up on their prices because
Everything had to.
everything
I
had
ain't
to
gonna
go
say
up.
everything had to go up.
It had to go
Everything
up.
did not have to go up, but some stuff,
Mhm.
because of this market, people have to increase the prices because
Right.
for gas alone, and
But
also because of the shipping backlog. That too.
right. And that's why they had to go up because, like, one time I went in there and I was like, it's a pretty big place. It's always stocked with like noodles, toilet paper, anything. Like even when people were running out of toilet paper, I can go to the Asian market. They had everything. I don't have
They
to go.
have it.
I don't have
Okay.
to go to any other store. I get my dish soap. They got dish soap. They got deodorant. They got anything I need: dishes, cups, toilet paper, paper towels, food, and safety. Because, like I said, gun nut people don't go in there.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, I will drive like the closest Asian market is like across town. If I have to go there, I will drive on fumes. I will drive and attempt it running out of gas before I go around to the corner to Walmart or Kroger. That's just how I am. That's how militant I am about, and I'm anti-Western corporations because of this mess we're in. They have funded this mess. They
True.
funded they funded the insurrection. Jeff Bezos too. All those guys in that tax bracket. And let's not forget Oprah. Yeah, she quiet as a mouse. Okay? No, we're not forgetting her, Tyler Perry.
Exactly.
They
I
keeping their
promise
mouth.
you, me and my friend were just talking about that. We literally were just talking about that. Like instead of you trying to build up this big old studio,
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Perry could turn that into a little a community. I'm not talking about a sovereignty within a sovereignty,
Right,
but I
right.
mean it could be something that's independent of everything that is Western, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
But see,
That's what I'm saying. And
yeah,
not only that, because of the money that he has, he's acquired, he feels like, I'm sure they have made him feel like that he owes them
yeah,
to even
and
to just
he wants to keep it.
Right, right.
See,
That's right. Oprah and Tyler, they want to keep their butter biscuits. They want to
because
keep
see,
their butter biscuits.
and I mean even though I believe that he was guilty of it, I believe that it's a lot of people in Hollywood guilty of a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby wanted to do something for he wanted his own black net. He wanted to buy NBC.
Yep. And after that, that's when all those
That's
women
when
came.
everything came out because
Yep.
guess what? This man was about education. He was about uplifting. He wouldn't have had that stuff like BET. He wouldn't have had like all of this stuff that these kids, he would have had another alternative to show kids that it's something else. Like us growing up watching the Cosby Show, it put in our minds that we could have that, and then on top of that, a different world. We could go to college,
Mm-hmm.
even though I'm finding out now that college is basically a
Right.
scam unless
Scam.
it's something that you want to do professionally.
Everything is a scam. But like you said, yeah, when I was watching Cosby in a different world, that's kind of like what my upbringing was like. And it was kind of refreshing because of all the other shows that I grew up watching that you have no choice but to watch. But there was nobody that represented that looked like me on those shows. But we just watched them because that's just what was on TV.
That's what was on
But,
TV.
but when the Cosby Show
And
came out, a different
that's
world.
indoctrination. That's
Yeah,
indoctrination, and people don't even understand it.
when Cosby Show and a Different World came up, that looked like my surroundings. That looked like the mom and dad characters were kind of like my mom and dad,
Yep.
and then going off to college. That was like the community I was a part of. That's how we were living, and that was just really cool to see how we were living was actually on TV.
Yeah.
Not like Good Times was groundbreaking too, but Good Times behind the scenes was very problematic because what's his name, the white guy that was they put creator on it, what's his name, hold on a second, I gotta get his name.
Norman Lear.
Norman Lear. Okay, very problematic because he took the idea of Good Times from a black man, and that black man wrote those storylines, the concept of the show and everything was a black man, but Norman Lear, just like the colonizer, took it, put his name on it, made all the money. They wouldn't even pay that black man that really created it. They wouldn't even pay him the like the residuals or anything like that. They
Like the
they
what
wouldn't
was
pay him.
I can't say the name, the Wachowski brothers and
Oh,
the lady from the Matrix. That's the
yes,
same
yes,
thing.
yes, 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 yeah, yep, yep. But that's what I'm saying. Like with my production company, I'm just starting now. I want it strictly for because Hollywood, like I said, they'll put out black shows or black characters and try to sprinkle in a little diversity here and there. But the final project, the final say is always going to be the colonizer. I don't want that. I want my company specifically for our the final say is going to come from us and people that look like us.
Exactly.
Because we're going to all look at it together, whatever department we're working in, whether it be, let's say, photography, or we have like a cooking department, people that doing shows about cooking or something like that. The final say is going to come from us, because we know about our culture. We know about our lived experiences and our stories. We know about that.
And we have to learn to stop measuring ourselves by the white man's ruler.
Standards, exactly.
What looks like success for them does not mean that it's successful for us.
But not only
You know what
that,
I mean?
a lot of things that they claim success for came from people like us.
You see? Ooh,
Specifically, Good Times. Norman Lear is like a multimillionaire. He's known in Hollywood circles. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He's like the top of their circles and that industry. But he got there from a black man that created Good Times. And that
No
black
matter how, look, it's like they said, no, one reason they stopped digging in Egypt, the more they dig, the blacker it got. The
man.
more you dig, the blacker it gets.
For
So
everything. For
for
everything.
everything, for everything. It's just, I mean, and that's the thing. They have controlled the narrative so much that we can't even see that they know things about us that we don't.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to do about. I mean, that brings us into the topic of the state of Black people.
Right.
And I mean, it's like I have so much hope, I have so much belief, I have so much faith and love in my people, but on the same token, I have frustration, anger, resentment. I have a love-hate relationship with
Right.
my own people that I come from because they don't realize how lost in the sauce they are.
But you know what? The same in our community that we're feeling like about this. I've watched and I observed the Asian community. This is the impact of white supremacy, and what the effects of white supremacy and what they have done to all of our communities. Because the same way what you're saying about our communities, I've seen Asian people saying the same thing about their communities. And when the common denominator of the issues
It's
in
white
our community
supremacy.
and the Asian communities is white supremacy.
And it's, you know what, it's the same with the Latinos too.
That too,
Because
yes,
guess what? The Latinos, I mean, I know so many different types of Latinos, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, it's just an observation. I've worked with some where we were planning, a black and brown coalition so we can work together and, get some stuff done. But then
hmm
I met the ones that they believe Donald Trump is the second Messiah, so it's
hmm
like they have their own colorism, racism,
Yep.
classism issues and stuff. But and the thing is they are moving ahead.
Yeah.
The Asian people, they're moving ahead. Indian people have the same issues, they're moving ahead. We are at a standstill
Yeah. But
because
they're
it's like
they're
too
working.
many.
That common denominator is working overtime to keep us at a standstill because of those dwindling numbers.
I just wish more of us were aware that wake up, look what's going on.
But
These people don't care about you. They
you
don't
know,
care about you.
yeah, they don't. But you know why? Notice the rise now. I was started paying attention about 20 years ago to this going on, where the black guys were bashing black women online. Okay, this is a
Oh
element.
yeah.
This is an element of the problem in our community. So I started paying attention to that 20 years ago. So from 20 years ago, when I started paying attention, I just kept seeing an increase of it and an increase of it, which it was obvious historically. Like you see the actors and the athletes and stuff like that, they feel like they've made it to a certain level that's what they feel. But it was over the past few years, it's been getting more aggressive, more destructive. And then these podcast dudes came out. Now,
What do they call them? The red pills?
yeah, the red pill, the dusties. I call them dusties. And but
I
notice
call them I call them He-Man woman haters.
no, notice, like I was talking about, the element in our community to keep us lower than everybody else. That was a tool. That that
Absolutely, it
that
was a tool
that
because
sphere was a tool.
you don't hear Asian women bashing Asian
Nope,
men.
nope,
You don't hear Latino men
nope,
bashing Latino women.
nope,
All
nope.
you hear, and I don't even, you know what? I don't even entertain it on there. If it's anything like that, it's very rare that I pay attention to that,
hmm
unless it's just something that's actually truthful being said. I scroll past it. I don't want to hear that because
Right.
this is another distraction. Don't
Right.
you
Right.
understand?
But
Everybody
I'm
else gets to
saying,
stand together. Everybody
I,
else gets to stand together. Every culture has the same problem. Single mothers,
right.
deadbeat
Right.
dads.
Right.
Don't you understand that you're not pay attention.
But I
Just pay
think it.
attention.
But I honestly believe it's a state-sanctioned psyop being used to keep us distracted with that. I honestly believe that it's being engineered.
I
If that
think
makes
it's a
sense.
lot of things. And if I hope this makes sense to you. It is a perfected method that they use.
Mm-hmm.
Psychological,
Mm-hmm.
physical, emotional, and spiritual.
Yep.
Because when you take all of those, first of all, that's what we are.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that they took away is our essence, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
When you take those away from people, you can tell them that they're whatever you want to tell them that you are. They sapped it out of our community with drugs, with feminism, with food deserts, with that terrible music, with lumping, with stacking us on top of each other,
Mm-hmm.
poverty, lack of education, putting in and instilling a sense of hopelessness in us that we can't shake right now because our vibrations are too low.
But
We're high vibrational people, and we have all this low vibrational energy in and around us all times. Of course it's going to affect us.
and that's why, like I was saying, like you were saying, especially with the music and the stuff that they have on TV, I don't watch those housewife shows.
Oh
I think
no, me
that has
neither.
effect. I don't watch any of that. I don't listen to rap. I don't pay attention to those colorists in the movies. I don't pay attention to the athletes. I don't support any of that. Now, as going back to like what you're saying, in every community has issues. Yes, I even my late husband was white. We were together for 20 years. He
Hmm.
never bashed the women from his community to justify being with me, and vice versa. I never bashed the men in my community to justify being with him. We never
It's
did that.
almost like they know that they're not supposed to. I mean, and I'm not saying this in. I mean, no disrespect to you, but it's like they know people are going to feel that they're not supposed to be with this particular person, so they have to basically denigrate what should have been their counterparts.
Mhm. Yeah, but no, he never did that. He and I'm just using us as an example. I don't know about anybody else's relationship, but as far as ours as an interracial relationship, he never did that to justify being with me, and I never
And
did
he
did
shouldn't
that.
have to. He shouldn't.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna love who you're gonna love.
right,
It
right.
might not be it might not be my preference, but who am I to put what I like up on you, up to you?
And that's what shocks me too a lot about some interracial relationships, because honestly, when we got together, I didn't really like him, and I didn't think he liked me. I thought I was just like he had red hair. I didn't like redheads. Then I tried to talk him out of wanting to go out with me. He wanted to go out with me, and I tried to talk him out of it. I was like, I don't think you want to go out with me. He was like, well, you let me make up my mind about that. And he stayed with me for 20 years. Yeah, it wasn't all rainbows and lollipops like nobody relationship is, but he was a good man and he nurtured me and he did take care of me. Like I said, I had 2 back surgeries. The trauma,
Hmm.
the pain and the grief and the depression that I was going through during that time, because I mean, it was hard. And not having a lot of money, I even tried to get him to leave me after like my second back surgery. I was like, I want you to be happy because you're a healthy man. I I'm not able to be uh that I feel right now at the moment. I'm not able to be what I know that you deserve or you want as a man. And I even tried to get him to leave, and he was like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, And when I see other interracial relationships, I see how, like, especially with the white women and black men, that's a weird thing going on there. That, that
It,
dynamic is really weird.
how could it be anything other than weird when a lot of the times it's two people fetishizing each other?
Because I mean, I'm sure and like I said, this was he's been passed away. It'll be 8 years this year, but I'm sure people looked at us. They looked at us weird, but not to that depth. That psychological depth of, like, is it a fetish thing type that. So, but now when I look at interracial, because I've seen people in those communities talk about it in depth, like the white women and black man dynamic is really off to me, and they both don't act right. And then I look at the Asian community and I listen to their interracial stories, and I see a lot of Asian men upset because, which I can see both the point of the Asian men and the Asian women, but a lot of the Asian men are voicing how they feel seeing Asian women with white men, because historically those type of white men don't mean uh they fetishize the Asian women. Historically, that's what that is. A fetish. Seeing, like, it's weird seeing, like, white men with Asian women, because I, just like the Asian men say, I kind of automatically think, because even those kind of white men, they will say, I want to go over and purchase, be an Asian girl, or they'll openly say stuff like that, like the stereotypes of what you
Yeah,
believe of those two
yeah.
relate dynamics. The white men openly say that that's what they're doing, and that's why they want to be with the Asian woman, or that's why they're with the Asian woman. And it's that dynamic, and the white woman and the black man dynamic is just really weird to me.
Don't you start. Don't you start. He over here listening. I saw him. I saw that head tipped up. Don't you start.
Because my mom had a cousin that married a Japanese woman, but they got married during, like, the end of the civil rights movement and stuff. So they were married for a long time. So I know of her, um, because she was family, like, my cousins, they were blazing and stuff like that. So I know of that, like, as a direct um story, my story for my family.
Hmm.
But the dynamic of the Asian woman and the white man is
Well,
also
yeah,
weird.
that's because with that the Japanese concubines and
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
geisha girls and stuff like that,
Right, right,
and
right.
their perceived submissiveness.
The what they
They-
call the dragon lady, like those old black and white
Yeah,
movies, because of that, those stereotypes.
yeah,
But not only
and
that, though.
you're dealing with an already. I don't know how to say. Well, I'm going to say it with already a man who's kind of they have inferiority complexes, but I mean, honestly, because they're intimidated by everything.
Mhm,
So here you are, and they need to be needed. They need
yeah,
to feel big and strong. And of course, what better than a little diminutive, little submissive, and I do air quotes with submissive, um, Asian woman, just like black men. And sometimes some black men feel that that's the same thing, the same reason that they date white women, because of that submissiveness and that softness that they say we don't have.
but it's like, because I'm a thinker too. I just think too much sometimes, and I'm just like, when I look at certain people, and I try not to lump them all in the same group. So I try to judge or question in the back of my head by an individual basis. So, but, like, I see, like, this what this one dude, this Asian dude. I think he's a Chinese American. He goes off on TikTok about these white men that are with Asian women. He's so mad. But when he does his videos, he shows receipts. He shows receipts. Like he will show and point it out. And it's like, because you don't want to think of it that way. But then when he pulls up that picture, that graphic or whatever, you're just like, dude. He put them on blast.
I'm getting look. I do apologize, but I am getting fussed at because dinner is ready and getting cold.
Oh, okay. Look, we've been on for over an hour. We didn't get to finish our. But look, this is really, really, really. We did cover a lot. We did.
We did, and
I
I enjoyed
appreciate
it.
you so much.
Thank you, and again, thank you for having me. I love to be on again when you have a moment, when you have a chance.
Well, no, you message me when you have the next time you have free time.
Okay, I
So,
will.
so I'm gonna go ahead, like when we hang up, and I'm gonna edit the video. I'll send you a link when I finish editing. But have a good dinner, and I will talk to you later.
Thank you. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.